Stevie J here from Glove Up or Shut Up with your UFC Fight Night recap, and what a night it was. Main evented by the American Gangster Chael Sonnen getting a submission 4:47 of the first round, and what a sweet submission it was. Hua tried to get up from a takedown and left his neck wide open. Chael grabbed around it, pulled to the ground, and Hua couldn't pop out of it. He tried like hell, but he had nowhere to go, and he was forced to tap with 13 seconds left in the first round. Afterwards, Sonnen cut a promo for the ages. Well, he borrowed a lot of it from people like superstar Billy Graham and Dusty Rhodes and Roddy Piper and such, but it was still great. I'm the man of the hour, Joe Too Sweet to Be Sour. What you see is what you get, and what you don't see is better yet. I'm the women's pick and the men's regret, and if you didn't pick Sonnen, you made a bad bet. There you go, Chael Sonnen, the American Gangster, and he challenged Wanderlei Silva to a fight by saying, 6 foot tall, 205 pounds, I didn't know they could stack crap that high. This is a direct quote. This went out over Fox Sports 1, so hell of a way to kick off their inaugural night on the channel. But let's move backward from that and talk about the rest of these fights. Before that, we had Hapa Brown defeating Alistair Overeem at 4:08 of the first round by knockout. Brown was in big trouble about halfway through this round. He was just getting pummeled with knees and fists, and he was up against the fence eating it hard, and there was warnings that it would be stopped, but Brown was able to keep moving and survive, and Overeem, as he often does in these fights, because he's so big and so muscular, ran out of gas. He started moving slower, and Hapa Brown saw it and just threw a perfect front kick right to the chin that dropped Overeem on his butt, followed up with ground and pound, and got the stoppage. 4:08 of the first round for Hapa Brown. Uriah Faber fought a very tough war with Yuri Alcantara and was in trouble early in the first round, but I'd say about halfway through and for the rest of the fight, he just took over with wrestling and dominated him on the ground, busted him with some elbows, some that were pretty darn hard, and didn't knock him out, but sure left Yuri Alcantara feeling the worst for wear. And Faber picked up the unanimous decision, 30-27 times 2, and a 30-26, because one judge thought he was dominant in one of those rounds for a 10-8. Wouldn't be the first round, maybe the second or the third. I suppose if I had to pick one round, it would be the second, but I would have given 10-9s across the board, so it was a good performance for Faber. Didn't light my world on fire, and I don't think Faber was very happy either. I think he wanted to go out there and finish, but he recognized Alcantara was a very tough Brazilian fighter and gave him a lot of respect. In a fight that will probably get the knockout bonus, Matt Brown completely overwhelmed Mike Pyle and left him sinking in his own quicksand. 29 seconds of the first round, he just blitzkrieged him, and Pyle was so darn out of it when he got knocked out, he didn't think the fight was over and started protesting immediately. I don't think he even remembers getting knocked out. He'll have to watch the replay. Joe Rogan and John Anik said as much. Oh yeah, Mike Goldberg wasn't there for commentary tonight. Anik took his place. Uriah Hall may get sent packing after his loss to John Doomsday Howard. It was a close fight in the first round, and the second and third, Howard really took over and just outworked him, outcontrolled him, outstruck him, out everything. It wound up being a split decision with Howard getting a 30-27 and a 29-28, and Uriah Hall getting a 29-28. I'm not sure Howard was dominant enough for a 30-27, but the first round could have gone either way, so I suppose so, but the last two rounds were definitely his. Joe Lauzon may have been the hometown favorite in Boston, being he's from Bridgewater, but that didn't do him any favors here because he just got taken apart by the menace Michael Johnson. It was one-sided. In fact, one of the judges gave it 30-25, the other two gave 30-27, and Joe Lauzon never got into second gear. He just looked sluggish the whole fight, and Johnson was quicker and just picking him apart with jabs and going to the ground and doing what he wanted to there as well, and Lauzon just never had any answers for him. Michael McDonald defeated Brad Pickett with a triangle choke at 3:43 of the second round in the final prelim on Fox Sports 1, and made it look fairly easy. He was quicker to the draw every single time he and Pickett traded, and he looked like a guy who should have beaten Adam Brow but didn't, so maybe he'll work his way back to another chance. Conor McGregor had a tough, scrappy fight against Max Holloway, but was dominant in all three rounds and picked up two 30-27s and a 30-26. Max never went away, but he was never able to do anything. It was just always a case of McGregor landing nice, crisp jabs and showing his versatility with spinning kicks and leg kicks, and for every one shot Holloway would land, McGregor would land 3 or 4. Steven Siler knocked out a former WEC champion in 50 seconds in a featherweight bout that was the second to air on Fox Sports 1. Not much to say other than that. Siler just caught him and rocked him, and Mike Brown was done. Diego Brandao and Daniel Pineda had a very close, very tough fight at featherweight. It went Brandao's way 29-28 across the board. Brandao was able to take over in the second and third round, but that first round, Pineda was just outstriking him, and it was up to Brandao to get takedowns to reassert himself. So he did, and he was able to finish the fight with a multitude of takedowns. Speaking of takedowns, they made the difference for Manville Anvil Gamburian because he was able to use those to score more points even though he was probably getting outstruck overall, and the judges saw it his way. Gamburian got a 30-27 and two 29-28s against Cole Miller. The second Facebook fight was Cody Donovan getting knocked out by Ovince St. Preux at 2:07 of the first round from guard. Ovince St. Preux was just able to get those hands up and hit him in the head so hard that he went lights out. So props to OSP, a very strong performance. And in the opener, the very first bout to air on Facebook, James Vick submitted Ramsey Nijem at 53 seconds with a guillotine. That's your Fox Sports 1 report, recap, and results from Stevie J.